Well, hello again. This is Dr. Jimmy again on the same day, July 1st, Friday night. It is now a little bit about 9:45. Enough time has passed since the first chance cocktail, the mad chance cocktail, for me to go ahead and make a second chance cocktail. Got my cocktail glass all frosted, although the frost is already melting off. Damn it. Can't keep it that frosted. Suppose if I ran it back into the freezer and then ran it back out when it's time to pour. I'll try that. So the frost is melting so fast. Let's put it back in the freezer. There we go, I'm back again. So I've stuck it in the freezer, so when it's time to pour I have to run back in there and get it again. Anyway, this is the second of the two cocktails I'm designing for Chance and her house, which we don't know the name of yet, unless they've actually told us the name. We haven't figured it out yet, because on the website where it said Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Exorcist, in the same place it says You Won't Stand a Chance. Maybe that's actually the name of the house. I don't know, maybe. Who knows? But as we know, Chance has two faces. We've already done the face that I've called Mad Chance. More pouty face. Oh yes. Now we go to the happy face of Chance. I call it Happy Chance. And this is the version of Chance that's... There goes another kitty. Yes, it's the same one actually. It's not a different one. I only have one cat in here. Hope it's the same one. Nothing, not multiplying or anything. Cat's been fixed, you know. It shouldn't be multiplying. Anyway. So, as we know, Chance, in addition to being incarcerated in Shady Brook or Hellgate or wherever she's at, all pissed off and annoyed at life, there's another version of Chance, because she can free herself in her mind. Free your mind and the rest will follow, as somebody once said back in the 90s. I think it was En Vogue or somebody, yes. But then again we have the Chance, of course, has freed herself through insanity, yes. She's created an entire theatre of the mind and escaped into that, and has taken us with her, so we don't have to worry about our real lives either, short and painful as it would have been anyway. Now it can be a part of the mad show that goes on forever in an insane afterworld of complete entertainment, entertaining depravity. Oh yes, all those lovely entertaining atrocities and dismemberments. Yes, that's the sort of place Chance has gotten away to. So, the Happy Chance cocktail has to be greenish, just like the other one had to be reddish, because that's the colour of the makeup and the costumes and the hair ribbons for this version of Chance. Colour code green and red, right? This one also has to be kind of crazy. Yes, because this is a more insane version of Chance, who has given up on reality for a more happy place. It's at least in her way of thinking, and so we've got that depraved and mad world. So, it's got to be a bit delirious. Well, there's one particular green spirit which is associated with visions and madness. Of course, we've used it once before, absinthe. Not using the same type that I used previously, because I've already finished that bottle off anyway. So I had to find a new one anyway. I didn't have any green absinthe in the house, so I had to go shopping, and I picked this one from Austria. It's called Mephisto. It's an Austrian absinthe using a recipe that dates back to 1909. Now, absinthe will loche when it comes in contact with water, so putting it into a cocktail shaker on ice will cause some loching effects. It'll probably turn opalescent, but hopefully there will still be some green cast to it. I hope. I might end up with a more yellow cocktail. I don't know how green it will look. It might be a bit milky looking. We'll see what we come up with. But by God, I was not going to put Midori or creme de menthe into this. Might have made it more bright, or what's that, pucker? No, I don't like those flavours for this particular cocktail. Doesn't work in my imagination for what this is going to be. It needs to be bittersweet. Absinthe is quite bitter actually, which is why they pour it over sugar. Actually pour it into, normally you pour it into a glass a little bit, and then you put a special slotted spoon and a sugar cube, and you pour ice cold water on top, melts into the thing and melts the sugar into the absinthe. It all loches and gets all creamy and white, opalescent looking, but it has the sugar to counterbalance the harsh bitterness of the wormwood. Wormwood, very bitter herb. It's mentioned in the book of Revelation, by the way. Wormwood, and it is Mephisto, therefore, right? And wormwood is noted for its bitterness, but by mixing it with sugar and diluting it with water, you could drink it better. Well, that's why this cocktail must not be pure absinthe, but we will put, and here it goes into my little cocktail jigger, and I will pour this. Ooh, don't spill all over the damn computer. All right, be very careful. Make sure that we pour this green liquid into, hopefully it's a green liquid, and then pour that into the cocktail shaker, and try not to spill too much of it all over the place, because fortunately I have brought something with me to wipe up any spillage. Absinthe also has a very strong anise scent and flavour. It's like harsh, bitter licorice. Sort of maybe like the salt licorice they have in Scandinavia. I don't know. I've never had that. I want to have that, but I've never had the chance to have any of the real thing. It's got ammonia salts on the outside of the candy. People who've had it seem to love it, although it's a bit of an acquired taste. Alright, so to that I add a different spirit. So it's going to be an interesting cocktail. And the other spirit I have has to be extremely sweet to offset the bitterness of the absinthe, thus creating a bittersweet cocktail with a greenish yellowish hue for chance's other face. And I've selected Falernum, Velvet Falernum, which is a liqueur from Barbados and Caribbean. This is John T. Taylor's Falernum, and it's a liqueur made with lime and almonds and cloves and ginger. It's very, very sweet. Also rum. It's a spicy, sweet, thick. I'll put a little bit in here, not too much, but enough to offset the power of the absinthe. And then put that also into my cocktail shaker. Ha ha ha. What Rachel Maddow got that I ain't got when it comes to making up cocktails for a program, yes. So, now something else. Don't want it too sweet, a little bit of tang to go with it. This is Rose's lime juice, also to help with the colouring. Rose's lime juice it's very popular for mixing. Good ingredient for a lot of tequila, for margaritas sometimes. It's a sweetened lime juice prepared specifically for cocktails. Put a little bit, not too much, just a little bit in here. Throw that in the shaker. Now sometimes when you have ingredients like this, you need something to bind it together, Nothing works better than some types of bitters. These are orange bitters, or the Bitter Truth brand orange bitters. I believe that's made in Germany. Very good. They are quite bitter actually, but they do give a good flavour when it mixes with other ingredients. They're a seasoning, not something you drink on its own. You just, again, a couple dashes of that in here, and that should be quite good. Now, I've come to the time when all the mixing of the shaking of the cocktail and the cocktail shaker happens. So, I'm going to take some of these bottles into the other room, get them out of the way, and then come back with that frosted martini glass that I stuck back in the freezer at the beginning of the video. Alright, looks a little bit more frosted than it was before, although again it melts so fast. Once again we shake it. Shake your money maker, shake it like a mad thing. Pour. And as you can see, it came out a sort of cloudy green colour. Very perfect, it's just what I wanted. Fitting with the sort of almost teal colour that we saw in Chance's ribbons and all that. Wipe up a bit more spillage, and hopefully this will be decent flavour. I'm not going to bother with a garnish. So here we go. We'll try the second chance. Ooh, that's wicked. I'm not sure about that one. Oh. You know, I think the orange bitters were a good idea because it goes with the cloves and the ginger and the falernum, and strangely enough offsets that against the anise. I said anise, not anus. It tells you that it's affecting me because I'm making silly jokes. Wow, it's potent. It's potent. This is not a candy flavoured cocktail like I made before. This is complex and mysterious. This is a theatre of the mind. Indeed, that's what this is. A theatre of the mind in liquid form. It's hard to describe the sensations because you've got the bitterness and the sweetness, but both of them have been somewhat mellowed out through the lime juice and the orange bitters, and it gives us, and it draws it all together. And I'm worried that if I drink much more of it, I'll start seeing things in the background of my video that you can't see, because absinthe is known to have such effects. What the hell is that? I hope you can see this thing. It was sort of a white object behind me. What the hell is that? Oh, it's the space heater. See, it looked like something else entirely. That's the problem. I've only had just a couple of sips, mind you, but I did have that other thing earlier. And it does make everything a bit surreal. So I probably won't bother. What was that? Is there a flash? I don't know. Strange. I probably won't bother with the what the hell was I going to say? That tells you something right there about how potent this particular beverage is. It's a bit startling. Yes. No, it actually, let's try another sip. Yeah. Okay. It does remind me of a Dorflinger. That's what I was thinking of before. But there's no gin in this one like in a Dorflinger, and it's, wow. A bit more subtle and complex, and when it hits you, It's like, damn. And then, of course, you want more, which is scary. So, yes, I think it's very good for the character and for the concept of the house. Indeed, an illusionary realm beyond the confines of reality, where you can enjoy the freedom inside your mind. Yes. Yes. And I'm sure the video is nowhere near as interesting as it looks to me right now, because the effects of this beverage are quite spectacular. So I hope you enjoyed this little adventure in mixology, and I hear a frog. Anyway, this is the second chance cocktail, the one for what I call happy chance, the chance that has freed herself into the theatre of the mind. And with these two cocktails, then I finished off the cocktails for the chance house, which they still haven't told us what it's actually going to be called yet. And why don't they do that? Why don't they just tell us what the frickin' house is going to be called? And why don't they tell us where it is? We think, of course, we're smart enough to know where it might be. We think, oh, it's going to be in the Shrek the Shrek Theatre. We know there's a permit for that for a haunted house, but we don't really know that's the site for it, because people have assumed that because Alice Asylum in Wonderland 3D last year had a similar theme of reality and illusion within the context of an asylum in an imaginary world, that perhaps it would be in the same place as that one. Well, you can't just assume that just because two houses have some similar thematic content, they'll actually be in the same place. It could very well be in the Shrek Theatre, but we don't know that for a fact. It's never been confirmed. And when Mike Aiello told us that The Walking Dead was sharing a soundstage with an original house as yet unannounced, well, they hadn't mentioned the Chats house yet. It could have been that one. I wouldn't be surprised if it was there, because it might do better in a soundstage. And the other original house might be in Shrek, or a different IP. That has yet to be announced. Might be in the Shrek Theatre. Don't always assume that everything's going to go where you first thought it was, because that's what we thought with Walking Dead. We just assumed it would be in that tent, that clear view tent they're erecting over by Men in Black. Turned out, no, The Walking Dead's in Soundstage 24, A or B, whichever one it is, and that means something else is going to go in that tent. another one of the original houses, one of the IPs. Could the Chance house be in that tent? I don't think it would go there. You never know. I hope not. I'm thinking either the Soundstage 24, the one with The Walking Dead, or the Shrek theatre. But I can't be certain which one it is, because it hasn't actually been stated by anybody where actually it's going to be. I wish I knew. I wish they'd tell us. So that's a bit of a mystery. For that matter, the name of the Walking Dead house is still a bit of a mystery as well. Okay, it's time to finish this video. Next time I do a video, it probably won't be a cocktail, unless they announce another house right away soon. I have heard rumours for a while now there'll be a house announcement after the 4th of July, when the Walking Dead attraction opens in California. They will likely announce one of the mazes there after that. So far in California, they've only told us about one maze, The Exorcist, and they have at least 5 more mazes after that, or IPs. Some people have guessed what they might be, but are they right or wrong? We don't know. Looking at you, Galindo. Anyway, or Gayland over here, or whatever he called himself. Let's see, August, I'm sorry, wrong month. July 4th is Monday. Doesn't mean it's going to be revealed that very day, but sometime after the 4th of July. Thus, it could be as early as July 5th, or perhaps as late as July 30th. Hopefully nowhere near that late, but somewhere between the 5th of July and the 30th of July, there should be another announcement for a maze in Hollywood, and probably one that's IP shared with Orlando as a house. But which one? Which one? Does anybody know which one? No one knows which one. So, whenever that is, another cocktail will be devised upon the next house announcement. But before that, I might make some more videos about Halloween Horror Nights 23, perhaps as early as tomorrow. So till then, and hopefully I won't have too much of a hangover in the morning, I bid you good night and have pleasant dreams. Yeah.